Hello everyone and welcome to today's build. So it is a speed build and it is a shell challenge. So it is the Obsessed Simmer, who's a buddy of mine. She has a shell challenge out now, or it may be finished by the time I post this. No, it's still going. It's still going. So you can go check that out on her gallery page if you would like to take part in this one as well. It's a haunted shell challenge and you have to have a secret as well. So her gallery ID is obsessed_simmer. So you can find her on the gallery, or you can go to her YouTube page. There is a link on my YouTube homepage, or you can just look up the Obsessed Simmer and you'll be able to find her, and there should be some information on there somewhere, I think, about the shell challenge. Maybe it's just on Twitter. Anywho, it's on the gallery. So yeah, this is a haunted shell challenge and it must have a secret. So I've actually not shown you me building the secret. I'm actually going to leave the secret until last, so you can see it there. And yeah, so it is kind of like the outside's kind of spooky and the inside is kind of gothic, but kind of more modern gothic. And I actually came up with a bit of a story for this family that lives in this house. So they are vampires, and they are modern vampires. So they're not, like Vlad, who's kind of stuck in his old ways, and he's kind of an old school kind of vampire. Whereas these guys, I kind of see them more as new school. I don't know, up to date kind of vampires. And they are a little bit more on the modern side. I mean, they still live in that gothic life because they are vampires, and it's all part of the way of things when you're a vampire. I don't know, but yeah. So there is those gothic touches, but it is definitely a little bit more modern than your usual vampire abode. Maybe there's no coffins. I don't know. We'll see. But no, most of the beds are not coffins. They're just modern vampires who sleep in beds. And yeah, so it's a family of I think 4. Yeah, so it's a mum, a dad, and 2 kids. And I can't remember for the life of me how many bedrooms and bathrooms this has. Pretty sure it's 4 bathrooms, and I want to say 1, 2, 3 to 4 bedrooms. It's quite a large build, and this has a basement as well. So my secret is in the basement, and I will show you at the end of the build. And what I'll say about my secret, it is something that terrifies the vampires. So I wanted to do something that was scary for my family, and so I think I've done that. It's something that they, in a way, kind of long for, but in another way are absolutely terrified of as well. That's your clue. So we'll see what you think at the end of the build when I show you what it is. So at the moment I am working on roofing. So this took a little bit of fussing around. I did cut some of the fussing around out because it took a while to work some of the stuff out because you're dealing with angles and bits and pieces. So, and I wanted to sort of have like a sticky out bit for this little section here. So that I could like have it supported by columns. So I ended up deciding not to go with the angled stuff and just use the half. Is it the gabled roof? I can never remember the name of the roofs. I can never remember the name of anything, so this is probably not a shock to anybody. So I'm just sort of playing around with the colours and what I wanted to do there. I was still kind of just getting the vibe of the house and kind of what I wanted to do. So I was initially going to do it quite run down and quite haunted-y. That's not a word. Haunted vibe. But changed my mind as I progressed the build. I thought, well, they're vampires, but I want them to be modern and I don't want them to be gross. So I didn't do it like run down and that sort of thing. Just did it more in their vibe. So that's sort of the way I end up going. So I was just working through that, and I'm just doing the roof so that it surrounds the next level up. So the tricky thing about this shell, I mean, you've got the angles, so that doesn't help. And also, yeah, the roofing was a bit on the tricky side, just trying to decide what I was going to roof and what I wasn't going to roof. So, where the balconies are going to sit and that sort of thing. So there was a challenge as far as the roofing goes, I would say that. And also it's quite a large build, so just trying to decide which size lot I wanted to go on. I probably ideally wanted to go for a slightly bigger lot, but you know, I decided to also build in Forgotten Hollow, so it was a matter of juggling a little bit as to what I wanted to do where. But yeah, I wanted to build in Forgotten Hollow because I did have the vampires, so I just went with Vlad's old lot here, but this is going to be for a new family now. Sorry, Vlad, I kicked you out. So I'm working on colours at this stage because I was initially going to do this as a limited pack build, and then I sort of got to this point, I was like, oh, you know what, stuff it, I'm not going to do this as a limited pack build. I'm just going to use whatever. It's a large build, and doing a really large build with limited packs is actually, it's tricky. I've done it before, like with Oakenstead and stuff, with building base game only, and I mean that's a 50 by 50 lot, so yeah, doing a really large house with limited packs is a challenge in and of itself, and this was already a challenge being a shell challenge, so it's like, you know what, I'm just going to stick to one challenge at a time and not make it so hard on myself. So yeah, I went stuff it on the limited packs, I'm just going to use whatever. So yeah, this is where I get to that point and end up using Jungle Adventure for the stone exterior. I fussed around with this flooring so many times. I ended up going with Jungle Adventure on that as well, I think, and just keeping it a little bit lighter, just to add a bit more brightness to the build, because it is quite dark on the walls and on the roof, so I did want to do that. So just added in the terrain paint, so just working out how the gardens are going to sit at this point, and the pathways as well. And I decided to paint rather than use flooring. Not for any particular reason, I just did. Just maybe cheapen the build a little bit. I don't know. Not that a little bit of flooring like that would make such a huge difference in the price of this build, because it's quite expensive anyhow, I think. So yeah. And just using in some of the Jungle Adventure plants, and then I am using sort of a mix of things. I think that's the vampire roses, and then a bit of vampire ferns, and I want to say base game grass as well. And then I'm building another garden that's kind of based around the statue that's in the middle, so I kind of wanted to make that a little bit more of an overgrown feel, because you know what, gardening at night is difficult, and they can't garden during the day because they're vampires. So yeah, so kind of having it a little bit overgrown kind of made sense to me. So that's kind of the vibe I was going for here, just like it's something that's kind of just grown a little bit wild, and then they kind of like it that way as well. So just surrounding that with some stones, just to pretty it up and kind of contain it a little bit. And I didn't do too much else as far as the landscaping goes. I kept it pretty simple. I was thinking about what else I could have out there, but I was also thinking, well, you know what, they probably don't spend that much time out in the garden. So I just made it lawn. Kept it pretty simple. I didn't try to overcomplicate the landscaping in this one. And you know what, they've got a graveyard out there, and that's probably where they would spend most of their time anyway, because, you know, vampires, that's their vibe and all that. So there is like a little balcony around the side, and then the building then backs straight onto the back of the lot, so there's nothing else around the back there. Just kept it pretty simple as far as that goes, because I mean, it's, yeah, as I said, it's a big shell, and I didn't have a lot of room on the lot for landscaping, and you know, the vampire life, they're not going to be spending that time out there, so it doesn't matter. So just getting in the windows in, and I'm using the vampire's windows because they sort of suited, I thought, the colour of the build and the vibe of the build. So, and that makes sense because it is a vampire house. And I went with a blue roof rather than a black roof. I just didn't want to have it like black on grey. It just was really, yeah, it ended up being a little bit too dark. So changed my mind on that in terms of having a dark roof and went with a blue roof just for something different. I don't often use the blue roof, probably because a lot of the houses that come with the game, particularly like, you know, Willow Creeks and stuff like that, they come with the blue roofs. So honestly, that's why I avoid them, because I'm just like, they come with all the pre-made builds. I don't want to use it on mine, you know. So that's often why I avoid the blue roofs. That's a true story. But I decided it kind of suited this particular build, so I went with that. There is a few touches that I didn't record because I looked at it once I finished it and I realized I needed some like touches on the roof. So like using the spiky bits along the roof and adding like the tall spiky things that poke up from the top of the roofs. I know the names, I do. I don't know the names. I'm kidding. So I'm just getting in some lighting. I did want to have a decent amount of lighting because I kind of felt like, you know, at nighttime they are going to be out and about, so they kind of might want to see what they're doing. So I added some lights to the garden, just adding a brightness there and giving it a bit of atmosphere, I think, at the night time, and added a little bit along in the graveyard as well, and pop some lights in above the seats just to add a bit more illumination to that, because they might go out and visit the ancestors at night and, you know, maybe talk to there might even be ghosts out there, so they might be out there having a chitty chat to their ghost ancestors. I mean, you never really know, but having some light at night I thought would be appropriate. And then I'm just working on what to do on the porches on the outside. I didn't go overboard with stuff out there, kept it fairly simple, but I did want to have like a little bit of seating out there because maybe in the evenings they do want to sit out and get some fresh air. But yeah, working out what I wanted to do with plants and that sort of thing. I didn't want to have anything too tropical or flowery, you know. A little bit of flowers I thought kind of worked, particularly in that orangey kind of red color. That sort of suited the vibe, but yeah, I didn't want to have too much. And like the roses, obviously they suit the vampire kind of vibe as well, but yeah, I didn't want to have like wildflowers or anything like that. I didn't think they were going to suit this particular build anyway. So I left them behind, and I'm just getting some ivy up on the walls because having it a little bit overgrown just gives that ancient sort of ancestral feel, because, you know, generation after generation of vampire sim has lived here and died here and been now in the graveyard. But yeah, this has been in the family for generations upon generations, and it's gotten a little bit overgrown and settled over time. So I'm just going inside now because I think the outside's about done, and I'm working on the stairs because we've got to work on stairs down to the basement, and then we've got 2 more levels going up. Such a big build for me. So it took me a little bit of fussing around just to work out where I was going to place the stairs. That was the tricky thing, because I didn't want to have it like sitting off in the middle of the room. I wanted to make it sort of feel like it was going to be logical. So yeah, I did get there in the end, but it did take a little bit of fussing around. So this is me just working on how to get down to the basement and where I wanted to have that situated, because obviously the basement was off to the side and fairly awkwardly-ish placed. So managed to work that out. So I'm just placing a little bit of furniture as I work out the floor plan. So I'll go back to some of these things and decorate them properly, but I just wanted to sort of get the vibe of what I was going to do in the rooms and where the main items of furniture were going to go. So just working on the hall area, so that's going to be the entrance area, so I'll make that a little bit more comfortable and throw some couches and stuff like that in there, but for now it is just a square block. I don't keep those couches there either, I'm just putting them there for placeholder for now. And for some reason I decided to place the actually I did place a few things in here because I was finding them at the time. I was like, hang on, I'll just put all this stuff here and make sure that I've got it in place, and then I shifted it around, because, you know, you sort of think I'm just going to pop that here so I know what I'm doing, and then you end up fussing around with it and getting distracted. That's what happened. So I'm just getting the secret in place there. So the secret's going to be in behind that door, and that is going to be in the kitchen. So yes, there's a bookshelf in the kitchen because I'm going to have lots of cookbooks are going in the kitchen. So that is how I justified having a book door shelf in the kitchen. Oh dear. So at the moment I am decorating the kitchen with the Realms of Magic, I think, kitchen stuff, and the Spa Day. So I'm mixing the red and the black, and that's going to be the vibe of the house, is red and black and sort of grey and white. But I will change this a little bit later. I'll come back to that. So I was initially thinking about how to bring the bookshelf vibe into the kitchen. So I did put the immaculate shelving in, but I will change that again later too. So off to the side there, that's going to be a bathroom. And then I was playing around with what to do with the rest of the space. I was thinking about putting a couple of bedrooms down there as well, but I will come back to that and change it because I changed my mind. So hidden off to the side there, that's going to be another bathroom, and then that's going to be a bedroom. That's going to be another bedroom, and then there's just going to be a bathroom in between there. So it's 3 bedroom, 4 bathroom. So there we go, I've established that. Excellent. And then upstairs it's going to be a bathroom and a walk-in closet and a bedroom. So this is me deleting those downstairs. This is the ground floor rooms, and deciding that I wanted to have a large lounge, and I was just going to break it up with a platform, and on that platform I was going to put a nice piano. I decided that's what I was going to do because that kind of like felt like the kind of family that would have a piano. That kind of made sense. So I used the Wedding Stories piano in the red because that went with the vibe of the house, and I'm just working out what colors I want to use throughout the house. So I decided to go with the lighter sort of mixed mid-brown kind of flooring, and then I mixed that with the Vampires Batty wallpaper, which I know probably isn't a favourite for a lot of people, but I don't actually mind the colours in that one. And this is a Halloween haunted shell kind of build. Why wouldn't I pull out the Vampires wallpaper in this time? So I've just ventured back to the kitchen now, and in the kitchen I am starting to build my kitchen island. So I decided to make it a nice round one, and I matched that with the Spa Day seating in there. Now what I am looking at is the countertops of that particular counter. I was just thinking about that, and as I'm placing these hall tables, because I'm just going to put some knickknacks on those, I am thinking about what I'm going to do with these counters and whether or not I actually think they work, and the answer is no. No, I don't think they work, and I am going to change them. It was too much. By the time I put the wallpaper in, because I decided to use the Home Chef Hustle Dark Kitchen wallpaper, because I absolutely love that wallpaper. So as you can see here, I'm changing the tops of the counters because they did not work with that wallpaper at all. And don't worry, I will center that properly later. Oh, there we go. I am centering it now, in fact. And I think that wallpaper actually worked really nicely with the red cabinets as well. So I'm just doing a little switcheroo because the fridge was kind of like half behind the columns, and I didn't want to have access issues there for my Sims. So I thought, well, better off to move that than have that there. And just getting in the sink and the oven, and then I realised that I didn't need to have the immaculate shelving with bookshelves on there. I have the Book Nook kit bookshelves, which I can just hang on the walls, and they fit perfectly. And then that's like cookbooks. So I felt that kind of worked to make my secret less obvious. Well, that was my plan anyway. So I'm just putting in some of the Home Chef Hustle appliances. So you got your waffle maker and your food processor and the pizza oven. I'm not sure that the pizza oven should be inside. So just if you do download this and you want to play with it, just be wary of it setting itself on fire. Yeah. I had that happen in my personal legacy the other day. The character was making pizza and the pizza oven set on fire, and then nobody could put the fire out, and a whole lot of the house, well, not a whole house, but a whole lot, but you know, a decent amount of stuff burned before like the fire guys got over there, whatever, and decided to put the fire out eventually. But mostly it was a problem because the characters couldn't do anything until the fire was out, so they're standing around and they're getting starved, and like, you know, there was like an infant as well, and the infant was crying and hungry, and they just wouldn't do anything. It was just like, this is so stressful, please put the fire out, please put the fire out. And they wouldn't put the fire out, and I couldn't do anything to help them put the fire out, and yeah. It was a whole thing. So you got to watch out for those pizza ovens with the Home Chef Hustle Pack, setting your place on fire and causing some serious distress. So I have finished basically in the kitchen, and I have zapped through to the living area. So you can see I've built like a little home entertainment area with the TV and the bookshelves. So I'm just putting in a chocolate brown rug and coffee table, which I can't remember which pack that's from. Then I was just having a look at what I wanted to do for the armchairs, because I wanted to put some armchairs in here as well. And that red is kind of hard to match. It's not the easiest to match. So I ended up just going with the Book Nook Kit seats and the ice cream pack. I've forgotten the name of it again. Cool Kitchen Stuff. Flowers. I actually quite like the orange and the sort of the red in that. I thought that actually popped quite nicely. So I am just about finished in the living area. I'm just going to get some more decorations in there. So I'm just doing the hanging plant. I think that one's the spooky one. Spooky or paranormal? I always forget. No, paranormal. Because spooky is pumpkin and paranormal is not pumpkin. This is how I'm remembering it at the moment. So I just did some more of the Book Nook Kit's chairs, and they're going to be the ones that are going to sit near the fireplace. And I did run, I didn't show you my building it, but I did decide to run fireplaces up that side of the house. So you'll see I've decorated, I've added the fireplace upstairs as well, and on the outside there's a bit of brick which breaks up the stone that comes with the Jungle Adventure pack running on the back of the house, and a little chimney built on the top, because I was fussing around with where that was going to sit and what I was going to do for a while. I was just like, oh, yeah. It's not that exciting viewing, so I cut it out and I thought I'll just tell you about it. So I did. Mission accomplished. So I'm just doing a little area. So we've got like a little bar within the globe, and then I was just going to do like a little seat and table just sitting there. So I did like a little comfy rocking chair, so you can sit there and rock and maybe listen to the piano or watch the what's coming in next is the dance floor. So I'm actually putting a little dance floor in here because they're modern vampires, you know, they want to have a little bit of a party, they entertain a lot. Now I did decide on red curtains in this area. I don't know if it's too much or not. My kind of feeling was it's a lot, but I kind of tried to break it up with the greenery a little bit. So I did put a bit of greenery in here because it wasn't, with all the windows and stuff, there wasn't too much I could do about the walls, and no matter what I did there was going to be a lot of it, and I don't know, the red sort of fit a little bit better than another colour. Anywho, I've moved on to the bathroom, and of all the different things that I decided to use in the bathroom, I actually decided to use the fitness stuff pack. Yeah, it's a stuff pack, isn't it? The fitness stuff pack range. So I used that within 3 of the 4 bathrooms, and then for some reason I decided to just do something different in one of the bathrooms. I don't know why, I just did. I wanted to mix it up so it's not all the samey same. Just have one that was more personalized for someone else perhaps. So I actually ended up putting like a laundry section in this bathroom. This is the downstairs bathroom. I did want to put like some shelving in here, but that just was a little bit too wide for the space, so ended up using the laundry pack shelving because you had the laundry and the washing machine and the dryer going into that room as well. So I thought that kind of made sense, having the laundry shelf in that room. So this is the front hall area. So just giving that a quick bit of decoration. So I went with like a slightly deeper coloured red in this room, so more a burgundy, and using the fitness hallway hall table. And I was looking for a plant that I wanted to go on here, but I'd struggled for a little bit, and then I found this one with the purple vase that matched the seats, and I was like, oh, that is absolutely perfect. And I loved how the lighter color kind of popped against the wallpaper behind it, so I was really stoked with that particular vase. I was like, actually, that works really nicely. It took me a while to work out what I was going to do with the rugs, because the color of the seats was tricky, and I didn't want to do black, but I thought pulling out the brown from the wallpaper would actually work really nicely there, so I did that. So this is the bathroom that I did a little bit differently. I decided to pull out red in this particular bathroom, so this is the city living one, I believe, because it's the Talking John, isn't it? So yeah, pretty sure that's the city living one. And just added like a couple of counters on either side of the sink, just for something a little bit different as well. And yeah, just basically mixing it up in terms of the colour and layout of the bathroom. I kept it pretty simple as far as accessories go. I didn't go too wild on placing lots and lots of clutter. I could have done more, I guess, but I didn't want to over clutter it and overcomplicate it, I guess. Keeping it more clean and simple, because it is sort of a more of a modern vibe. And then going through, we are on the second floor, or the second story, or the next level up, whichever way you want to put it. So this is like the little living area on the second floor. So I wanted to put in a couple of couches and like a game table, so like where they could socialize and hang out and have a little bit of family fun. So I did that with them there, and used the yellow high school years rug, I think that's the high school years one, and just used one of the Blooming Room kit plants, that's the word I'm going for, and enlarged it so that could fill up that corner. And then I just did some more of the Book Nook kit bookshelves. So I will shift this around a little bit, because obviously I can't have that door blocked by the bookshelf, so I will go in and fix that. And just had like some simple seats going in, and I wanted to have the jukebox up there so they could have some music on that floor as well, and kept it pretty simple with just like a end table and those cute little owl statues that you get with Growing Together. My favorite little statues. So just use some more of the Book Nook kit and use the paintings there. Carrying on the same palette for the bathrooms that I used downstairs, but I'm using the fitness pack, stuff pack stuff in those ones instead of the city living ones, which I did in that one other separate bathroom. So moving into the double bedroom that is in the second floor, I'm using the Modern Luxe bed in this one. And do I use it upstairs or not? No, I don't. So this is the Modern Luxe room, and I decided to use the chocolate with a bit of the red and bring out those colours, and with a touch of the gold as well. I just kind of wanted to have it quite on the darker side, but quite luxe and rich feeling is kind of the vibe. I did really struggle with the wallpaper. I ended up going with a bit of a mix, so I don't keep all of the black, but add in like a different colour. There we go, there's the vampire wallpaper. I decided that I actually quite like the feature wall at the back, so I kept that, but yeah, did the bat wallpaper around the rest of the room, and then just kept the black on the back of the bed, and just getting in a dresser and a mirror. I was thinking about that though. I was like, do the vampires really need mirrors? I can't recall. I'm sure vampires can use mirrors in the game though, right? I can't remember. Oh well, you can tell me in the comments, do vampires in The Sims still use mirrors? I'm sure they do, but I could be wrong on that. So you can see the fireplace there. That is continuing the fireplace chimney sort of thing that runs up the side of the building. So that is situated right there in that bedroom. And then they get like a nice little cluttered office table, kind of hobby table, writing table. It's kind of like it was a typewriter, so I kind of thought it was more like a writing table. So maybe the vampire in there has a little bit of a writing hobby. And then the other one, because maybe there's a couple living in there. Maybe not. No, because it's a family of 4, so it's maybe an older teenager and... Oh, no, because I've got like 2 beds in the kids' room, so it's family of 5. So it's like teenager in here, and then it's like 2 kids in the other room. Anywho. So just, we've got a little bit of space running along this wall, so I wanted to have something that they could sit in front of the fire, because obviously you want to sit in front of the fire and be nice and cozy during winter. Because I assume that vampires and the Sims get cold and hot. I mean, obviously they get hot because they burn to death in the sun. But do they get cold? Because, I mean, in theory, they don't have any body temperature because they're dead. So do they get cold? I don't know. Depends on the law, doesn't it? So I have moved... Sorry, I'll get distracted by this stuff. So I've moved through to the kids' room. I will change that wallpaper. This will be a bedroom that does not have the baddie wallpaper. So I will change that because it was just a little bit too busy for the kids' room. And I actually ended up going quite pretty on this. You'll see what I do, but anywho. I did go with the darker wall, so carrying through sort of the chocolate and the red, but I ended up going with like blues and purples in this pinks and purples and blues in this room. I actually chose that blue bed because it had skulls on it. I thought, well, that's appropriate, and the purple I think is kind of like a vampire-y type colour, so that's why I chose that. So they are on the pastel side, but I think it's still kind of worked okay for the room, because I ended up going with like a darker chocolate on the wall, and it's still, I mean, it's kids. I mean, are they going to be into gothic stuff? Well, I mean, the argument could be yes, because you're kind of influenced by what your parents like as a kid, but kids are also influenced by what their peers like too. So if they're going to, like, you know, the average everyday Sim school and they're going to be surrounded by other Sims, are they going to be interested in what the other Sims are into rather than what their parents are into? It's hard to know, but you see things like the Addams Family where you have Wednesday and Pugsley, and, you know, they're very much into the gothic thing. But I'm thinking that these particular Sims, because they are more modern Sims, yes, the teenager might be more into gothic things. She's more arty. I think she's a she. And the parents are definitely a little bit more old school. So they're sort of like the gothic vibe. But they still, you know, they're not that old. They're still young enough. And then you've got the youngest kids who are definitely more influenced by society and their peers and what's cool at the moment, you know. So I think that's right. I feel like that works. You could disagree, that's fine. Should I have gone full on gothic? Maybe, but I didn't. So this is my build, and that's what I did. So there. But I think the pastel actually works really nice with the chocolate. I don't know why, but it does. So I'm happy I went with that direction, and I think it's, you know, pretty for the kids. Just kept it pretty simple by putting a nice shelf in there from, I think that's Eco Living. And then moving over to the bathroom. I actually ended up splitting the room in half because it was quite a long, narrow room. And I said, well, why wouldn't it be good? Or wouldn't it be good? Not why wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be good if, like, you could separate out the bathroom and the bath area? Oh, and just changing the couch because I decided I didn't like the 2 separate couches. So I changed it to... Is that the Johnny Zest couch? I think it might be in the red. And then I was looking for a coffee table that worked, so I used the Growing Together coffee table and the Modern Luxe rug with the chocolate on it. And I was looking for something that could go on there, and I decided green would work better than something that was red. So I have built a separate toilet area. So it's toilet basin, so they can go in there and go to the bathroom without disturbing someone who might be in the shower although they kind of have to go through the bathroom to get to the shower, so I don't know if my logic quite pans out, but you know, it's nice to have a separate toilet from the bath. So just working out what I'm going to do in this area. So I've got I think that's the fitness pack bath, the triangle bath, and then I'm using the Horse Ranch bathroom display shelf, which comes in the surfaces area, and I always forget it's there. So I'm happy that I finally remembered that it was there. And I very, very, very deliberately put the hairdryer on the corner of the bath because it is a spooky build. And what is spookier than a working live plugged in hairdryer on the corner of the bath ready to fall into the bath? Dun dun dun! So yeah, pretty spooky stuff, guys. I know, I'm terrifying. These thoughts in my head, you know, scary, 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 scary place, my head. So we have moved up to the top floor, and this is going to be bedroom with ensuite bathroom and walk-in wardrobe. So just doing a little study nook for them there. And I will once again use the red and brown sort of color scheme for that. What I'm doing is I'm just adding some clutter to the desk is kind of all I'm doing there. So once again, it is a typewriter, so I'm thinking sort of writerly-ish clutter. Writer's clutter. And this actually also comes with the fireplace. So once again, just running that chimney up the side of the house, so each of the rooms that attaches to that point of the house get a fireplace. So this particular room happens to get a fireplace too. So I'm going to go through like a few changes with this because I wasn't happy with the bed, and then I had to work out the curtains. So I ended up going with the lighter sort of beige goldy kind of coloured curtains, and then I had to work out a bed that would work with this, with side tables that would fit in that area because it's quite a little tight space. And I still wanted to make those doors accessible because they go out onto the balconies, and they're the only access point for the balconies on either side of the top of the house. So yeah, so this is me just working through what I was going to do for a bed because I just didn't quite know. But I did find something that I liked in the end, which that's Horse Ranch, isn't it? Pretty sure it is Horse Ranch. So that required me to match in some more of the furnishings, and I kept with the Dream Home Decorator little small end table. I really like that end table. I think, you know, you can sneak it into little spaces, so it's quite a handy one that doesn't like look so giant next to the chairs, because so many of the end tables look giant next to the chairs, and that's usually not the case in reality. You know, like normally the end tables will sit that little bit smaller than the chairs, but it just seems to be the opposite in Sims, and I don't know why. So they, you know, you're putting them beside chairs, and they quite often look quite clunky and oversized. But the Dream Home Decorator one is not clunky and oversized, so it's good, but it's not the prettiest of end tables, unfortunately. So I'm just doing like a little hall table and just putting some clutter and bits and pieces on that, and just pretty pictures, just to give it that sort of lived-in feel. Then moving into the dressing room, we are working on that. So I can't remember which dresser I used. Oh well. So just put some clutter on it, and then on the either side I will use the hanging stuff. So I think I used the Dream Home Decorator hanger, and then just use bits and pieces from the wardrobes for hanging, and put the shoes in there as well. So just kept it pretty simple as far as that goes. I did have a window there, but that is now gone. Kaboom. And then just got a mirror going in there, and then I put in like another couple of sets of drawers. The one that I had downstairs from the Realm of Magic, I think it was just too wide, so I used the Tiny Home Stuff Pack wardrobes or dresser drawers, and they're, you know, perfect because they're designed for the tiny home, so they fit in those little narrow spaces, which I absolutely love, and I think we need more of that sort of stuff in the game. So then going on to our final bathroom, I'm just going to keep that pretty simple as far as it goes. So once again using the Fitness Packs shower and sink, and I think that's the Ain't No Slate toilet, and I can't remember which of the choices is the mirror, but that is our build. So let's take a wee tour about the house, and I will finally show you my very scary vampire terrified of secret, which is down in the basement, and I have not even hinted, well, I have hinted a little bit about what it is, but I haven't shown you what it is. So you can see on the roof I added the, the spiky bits of detail and a gargoyle and that sort of thing, so just adding to the atmosphere of and the vibe of the house. So just being sort of that older style on the outside, but it is a little bit more modern on the inside, because the family's gone in there and they've redecorated and given it a bit more of a modern flair, so they're not like living in the 18th or 19th century. So I really love that burgundy that comes through in that room. I think that's really pretty and works quite nicely with the chocolate too. So it's lots of shoes, because there's a few people coming in and out of the house, lots of visitors, because they do like to socialise, these guys. So they've got like a dance floor, they've got a giant TV, they've got a piano, they've got a giant kitchen for cooking lots of entertaining meals and that sort of thing. They do not have a barbecue because they don't want to barbecue themselves. Open flames and vampires do not match, just by the way. So this is the gorgeous giant TV, which they show off to all their friends. And going around, we've got the beautiful little platform piano. And you can sort of see the dining room in the background there, which we're going to zap through to in a second. There we go. So I did add a little bit more furnishing in this room just to break up the red a little bit. I think it's okay. I don't think it's too much. I'm happy with my decision there. So we're just zapping back through the lounge, and you can see the sort of the fireplace nook there, and nice and cozy just by the fire for winter. And then going through to the kitchen, which I did use the new Home Chef Hustle kitchen pack for a lot of the dressing in here in the black, and then I used the Spa Day counters for the hanging stuff, as well as the book nook for the bookshelf and our hidden secret in the bookshelf door that looks like a bookshelf that you don't know is a door. It's hidden. So I have added like lots of clutter around the kitchen, just add a bit more life to the kitchen and a bit more of a lived-in feel. So I used a lot of the Cool Kitchen stuff, and obviously the Home Chef Hustle stuff as well as part of that build. So we're going up to the second floor. So this is the little living area where they've got the game table and some seats and another little book nook there off to the side. And I did fix it so you could go in through the door, because if you've got a door, you probably want to go through it. So they're going into the kids' room, and this is probably prettier than you would expect in a sort of haunted mansion sort of style, but yeah, they are the more modern type of family, so I think this works okay with the kids. So there's a couple of school age kids in here. It could be a boy or a girl, but I think this is probably two girls. And actually they've got a whole family of girls, because the other room is for a teenage girl, so it's 3 girls and a couple. And then this is the bathroom that is in the second floor. Oh yeah, it's the split bathroom, that's right. And so it's got all the sort of the fitness pack stuff, and then going through to the toilet area, which you need to go through to get to that bathroom, but that's cool. It ended up being actually way too many doors, because I did have like door access points at one point for all of it, and it was just so many doors. I was like, no, I can't do that, that's silly. And then going through to the double bedroom on the second floor. So this is the modern luxe, and keeping up with the chocolate and red kind of theme, and use the kind of creepy paintings, but I think she thinks he's hot, so there you go. And she is artistic, so she likes to paint and she likes to write, so that, I think the room kind of reflects that with a gothic sort of vibe. And then this is the second bathroom, which uses the city living stuff in the red. And then going upstairs to the top floor, and we have the master bedroom upstairs. So once again, carrying through the red and the brown kind of vibe. And I think the dresser actually matches the sheets, so that's quite nice. And then going through, you've got like another artistic sim upstairs who does a lot of writing, and they've got the fireplace there too, so nice and cozy in the winter to hang up there together as a couple. And the kids can come up and sit up there and harass the parents too if they want to. And then going through here, we've got the dressing room, and then we got the secret downstairs. Let's take a look. What is going to terrify the vampires? A day at the beach. I was like, what would scare vampires? And I was like, sunshine. And where do you get sunshine? At a day at the beach. So I've built them a beach basement where they could go and actually have a secret revel in the concept of going to the beach without actually frying themselves. But it kind of also scares them as well, so it's a bit of a scary thrill. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!